Nearly 3 years into the conflict, Sudan's war has become one of the world's most severe humanitarian crises. It's left millions of victims like Shadia Ahmed fleeing their homes and villages in search of refuge.
One day we have food and water and another we don't. We are just living. I go to the market, sometimes I find work and other times I don't. Either way, we are patient and we are raising the orphans.
Fighting between the Sudanese armed forces and the Rapid Support Forces has devastated cities, displaced millions, and fractured the state. International mediation efforts have produced statements and meetings, but little change on the ground. South Sudan has been on the brink of civil war since a fragile power-sharing agreement between President Salva Kiir and opposition leader Riek Machar fell apart. In March 2025, tensions escalated sharply after the arrest of Machar, raising fears that the power-sharing deal with Kiir may not hold. And instability in Sudan is threatening to spill to the south, blurring borders in an already volatile region. In eastern DRC, peace agreements have come and gone, but the fighting remains.
Today, people have left their villages. They have left their homes to live in refugee camps. And this doesn't even bother the governments. Today we have just experienced, there are certain territories that we have just experienced being in the hands of rebels for at least 4 years.
Last year's US brokered peace initiative signed by DRC President Felix Tshisekedi and Rwandan President Paul Kagame raised hopes of de-escalation. But clashes between Congolese forces and M23 rebels continue, driven by long-standing grievances and competition over mineral-rich land.
We see what is happening in other countries. You can't tell me that France or the United States can accept that their citizens are living through the situations that the Congolese and Sudanese people are experiencing.
Kimwanga argues that across the region, weak institutions and militarized politics have allowed violence to become a regular feature rather than an exception. From African Union initiatives to international mediation, attempts to end this crisis have multiplied. So why have they delivered so little?
Now, this is happening at a time of weakening regional mechanisms of conflict resolution, either from IGAD or the African Union, in part because, one, you have the finances, two, some of these countries are also involved in these conflicts, and three, the United Nations have been extremely distracted and has remained dysfunctional, especially the Security Council.
In Sudan and Eastern DRC, control over natural resources fuels competition. In South Sudan, oil revenues remain central to political survival. According to Hanenge, for some, war has become a business.
People who are profiting from the status quo. For instance, in DRC, there is a lot of minerals and a lot of resources to be able to fight over. And maintaining it that way is going to ensure that some regional or external powers are going to have access to those resources, or at least is going to put DRC in a weaker position to make it easy to compromise on.
Analysts say whether the new year becomes another chapter of conflict or a turning point will depend on choices made by regional leaders and the international community. Enoxikolia, CGTN.